Welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about the BBC audio The Runaway Train, written by Oil Smith and is read by Matt Smith. Now, BBC audio usually do just straightforward audio books for the novels of BBC books. However, as I've shown before with Pest Control, with the 10th Doctor era, they did occasionally audio exclusive stories, and on a few occasions they got actual Doctor Who actors. Well, actually they're all voiced by Doctor Who actors, but rarely, but sometimes they do. Like with Pest Control and with this story, they do actually get the actual Doctor that played the role in the series. Matt Smith only did 3. He did this one, he did one with a werewolf, I believe, and one something to do with pyramids. I'm not quite sure. But I'm only really interested in these with the Doctor doing the audiobook. Personally, that's just where my interests go on this. And this was the closest thing I was going to get to Matt Smith himself actually appearing in a Big Finish audio drama, because this is Matt Smith doing a audio book for BBC Books. For those of you who are interested, the audio book is in a style where you've got like sound effects and you've got a score. It's not Murray Gold's music, so oddly there's no I Am the Doctor playing, which feels really strange. A lot of people ask me when I do like books and audio dramas, is it immersive? Can you picture yourself listening to this and think that you're watching a TV story, that you can picture these doctors? Well, seeing as this is Matt Smith as he was making series 5, it is spot on. You easily can imagine Matt Smith's Doctor on this. It takes little stretch to connect this with the main TV series, which is just always great and fun. Now, this story is very popular, mainly because it's very cheap. You can get it at I got mine I think about £2. It's only an hour long, so it's only on one disc, which is very unusual for the BBC audio books. Usually they're on 2 discs, each being roughly an hour long, but this one's only an hour long. I don't know how many are this length, or whether this becomes a normal thing during the 11th Doctor era. I'm not quite sure. But it's a very popular story in terms of where it is. In terms of the public's perception of it, or at least the mainstream fan base, it's held up pretty well. A lot of people seem to like it, have good memories of it. Might not be like the greatest thing ever, but a lot of people seem to enjoy the story and have a lot of fun. And I was just incredibly grateful that they got yet another role of Matt Smith, this time doing an audio, which is always just fun. So this is the cover, the official BBC audio cover, which is very nice. But also as well, I've printed out my own DVD cover, as I usually do. Now I couldn't find a good image of that, a clean image of that. So I actually put the cover on all by myself. I did try to give it like this deserty approach, but as you can see, it kind of looks really horrible. It's one of my early works, and it clearly shows. Also, despite Amy Pond wearing this costume on this cover, she doesn't actually wear that in the story. So I really need to update this cover. But yeah, this is one of the first covers I made. So that's the cover of it, if anyone's interested. Here's the spine with I Am the Doctor himself, Matt Smith. Always cool. he's probably one of the most visually striking Doctors, probably just under Colin Baker, in my opinion. Like, if they were all in a row, and you have to pick, like, which Doctor stands out, he's probably the second one you could pick out. And here's the back, which actually then does use well, that looks really strange. That actually does use the cover, because I can get the clear of that image. I have no idea what I'm on about. So there you go, that's the cover that I made for myself, and this is the official CD cover. So let's get into the story. The story starts off, we actually get a pre-credit sequence, which is really nice, as we see these kind of cowboys in this, I don't know if it's like a village or something, but or a balcony or something, but these three individuals, these gunslinger-like outlaws, they meet each other and they seemingly are hesitant with one another, almost like getting ready to pull the trigger, until something starts materializing in the middle of their confrontation with the TARDIS. And the three men then stand in the view of the door. The 11th Doctor comes out, and our characters, our outlaws, seem to already know who the Doctor is, and playing into that like timey-wimey aspect, which becomes a sort of style of the 11th Doctor era. The 11th Doctor era is the fairy tale wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff that happens in this era. And so that's a great setup, and the Doctor's like, oh, hello. And then the intro plays, which is the only Murray Gold music that plays, is the main theme intro. Although in years it's been extended, so I can't remember if you hear it in the TV, but you actually hear the middle 8 in this, and it's gorgeous. I personally really like the middle 8 in this version of the theme, but that's just me. And the Doctor and Amy basically, they explain that they're actually tracking down an alien device. Something has come to Earth around about this time. I can't remember when it's set, but what the particular year is. But it's in the midst of the American Civil War. That's against the Confederates and who the Confederates are fighting? The states. Confederates versus the state. When they wanted their independence so they can own slaves, which is horrible. But anyway, and we basically get introduced to these three characters. We have Bernardo, who is basically kind of like I don't know if he's like the leader of the gang, but he seems to be the most prominent character out of the three. You got Vince, an ex-soldier who actually used to work for the Confederacy, but then he basically he left the army to become his own outlaw individual. And you also have Greg, which I can't remember a thing about him, to be honest with you. And these three characters basically state to the Doctor that the Doctor was the one who summoned him here. None of these people have met before, and all of them have only had interactions with the Doctor before. And the Doctor has basically hired them on this mission, presumably in the Doctor's future, to help him with the mission. But the Doctor is just like, I don't need these people. I just need to track down this alien device, go there, pick it up, take it back to the TARDIS, and save the day. And that's all you need to do. I need you to do. At best, you can dig. But these people say, like, you promised us that we will get a very handsome reward if we help you. And that you also said you would try and talk us out of it. And then the Doctor is like, okay, fine, and I'm guessing I'm going to have to take you with me, but don't be surprised if it turns out to be nothing. But when he gets to the location at hand, it turns out there is a Confederacy military compound at the location, led by Captain Britt, who who is this very grouchy character who wants his hands on a weapon. He found this particular alien device and believes it could be a villain to take down the States in the American Civil War, and he wants it to basically get revenge on his for his crew. And so our team basically have to come up with this plan to try and get the device and hide out. They also have a lot of action scenes in this story. There's a lot of chases. You got there's one on trains. You got this one where the crew, they're getting fired by they have him fired, and the Doctor hides in the TARDIS for a little bit, and then he dematerializes to where the characters are, and they're shooting everywhere, and he's basically telling them to, right, we've got to come up with a plan to get the TARDIS to this location. We also get an action scene on a train, the Runaway train, where this device is held, and Amy, to try and save the rest of the crew, to save the Doctor, Bernard, Vic, and Greg, I believe he can ride trains, which becomes very handy, and Vince is an ex-soldier, and Bernard is also is a great gunslinger, but Vince is also, he knows a lot about the military there to infiltrate the place. So it just so happens that these people are very good at where the location they need. And the Doctor, they're in this train, and Amy actually unloosens the back of the train, saving the Doctor and all the other characters with this device, while she gets captured by Captain Britt's men, and she basically becomes their prisoner. And we learn that the device is a CI global atmospheric changing device, similar to the Genesis machine in Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. I'm trying to think of the word. Inhabitants. I can't remember the word. But see what it says on the back here. It does a terraforming device. It's a terraforming device that is planned, and essentially the Doctor explains that there was this gigantic war between one race of aliens and the CI, and the CI were the bad guys, the other race were the good guys. The good guys won. The CIs are now maybe not an extinct race, but they're very low on numbers. However, a part of their device, which they used in their weaponry, the terraforming device, one of it survived and has crash landed on Earth, and the Doctor needs to fix it. Otherwise, if it goes off, it will set this explosion which will change the atmosphere of Earth to fit more of the CI race, to which a massive alien craft comes down from the sky and starts searching around. Now, let's talk about our characters. The Doctor and Amy are a lot of fun here. They play a lot of fun with the cowboy stereotypes and are really enthused with this story. The Doctor, of course, being voiced by Matt Smith here, his TV incarnation, he feels full of energy, and he is so dedicated to the role. I was worried going into this, because I know this criticism has been done in other things that Matt Smith has done, like in the video games that the 11th Doctor starred in which his performance seems very toned down to his TV counterpart, and seems to be hindered by the fact that Matt Smith just really likes just moving around. He is so energetic in his movements, as I've said in the 11th Hour and the Beast Below vlogs, that, you know, his Doctor is mainly a visual performance. So I was worried going into this, feeling like it would limited him. But no, Matt Smith does a fantastic job here, and I think it's the fact that he also reads the entire story and that he does all of these voices for different characters. It makes me beg, please, Matt Smith, if you're listening to this, I know you're not listening to this, but by the small slimmer chance that you are, get Nicholas Briggs on the phone and tell him you want to do Big Finish. Yeah, just go do Big Finish. You're perfect for it. You know, and also get Murray Gold to do I Am the Doctor, because it's kind of strange how I Am the Doctor isn't in this. It gives the soundtrack by Simon Hunt in this story. It's very well utilised, and it makes you feel like you're watching an old Biscotti Western, which really fits the narrative and the feel of the story. What this story does really great is submersing you in this world, in this environment. We get to learn a lot of locations in this environment, a lot of different characters, which makes this world feel real and makes you can easily image this story in your head. The cowboy western, the desert that goes out for miles with a small village in it, the hill with the cave in it that leads into this device, the trains, the bit where the train is going near a bridge which is half built, so it's about to collapse. All that classic cliches that you like in cowboy fiction are presented here, and so the immersiveness of this story really fits well, and it feels like instead of Doctor Who going into a Biscotti Western, it seems like it's the Biscotti Western. It just so happens to have the 11th Doctor and Amy Pond in the narrative, and they are our main vocal characters. Because if there's one thing the story can be heavily criticised for, is that our three other main protagonists, Bernard, Vint and Greg, aren't that interesting. They put a lot of focus on these characters as if they're main characters. However, apart from one being an ex-soldier, which makes him have this unique relationship with the villain, Captain Britt, so that, you know, he was a deserter, and Captain Britt seems to have this sort of grudge towards him. I can't remember if it's Vince or Bernardo, but it's one of those two. And there's a lot of great little moments. There's a great moment where one of them is like holding a gun. I think it's Bernardo who's like he's in like this war zone at the moment, and he's like, I will not fire a gun. I cannot kill people. So he shoots gunpowder, which causes this massive explosion, not killing anybody, but knocking everybody off their feet. As the Doctor points out, it's like, how is that any better? To which this character is like, it's a lot cooler. It's a lot prettier doing it this way. That's a fun little moment. But apart from some fun little moments here and there, and some little small interactions, the three original protagonists of this story really aren't that interesting. Luckily it's not really their story, it's the Doctor and Amy's. They are the main protagonists in the story, and they are very well utilised here. But for them, they are kind of dull. Not that they're bad, they're not annoying in any sense, and they work very well in terms of the story. However, in terms of you being emotionally invested in these characters, they don't really offer that much to proceed, in my opinion. Captain Britt also comes off as a cliched villain. He's described as having this old battered leathery face with the only warmth in him is his bushy moustache. Love that description. But he's a Confederacy, so of course he's the villain, he's the bad guy, and he has this actually I changed my mind, he's actually a pretty decent villain here. He has some really great promise and threats. He has some really intense moments. One of my favourite moments is he talks to Amy Pond as his prisoner, and talks to her about his 2 rules. 1, he will never hurt a woman. He is a gentleman first and foremost, and he will never give harm to a lady. And 2, listen to my rules and instructions, because if I get angry, if I get annoyed, if you disobey me, I have been known to forget my first rule. Oh shit. Amy's in trouble. I really like that. And he has this kind of sincerity about him. Like, he can come off as charming and likeable when the situation arises with it, but he's also cruel and cunning at the same time. As well, when the alien craft coming out, when Amy is like, right, we need to help the Doctor because there's an alien creature coming down to the Earth, and there's only one person who can save the day, and you've got to let me go, let me save them, otherwise, you know, you're all in danger. And he actually lets Amy go by, well, she insists herself, and when a character tries to stop her, in the description, the character just gives him a sturdy eye, showing his Godfather-like presence in the narrative, which really works very well. So the climax of the story has the villains, the main alien, the CI, coming down to Earth to basically collect their terraforming, and we're planning to use this device to basically conquer the Earth. They basically go to inhabited planets, destroy all life on there with their terraforming device, and change the atmosphere which will better suit them. And they're described as this octopus-like creature in these corpse-like leathery suits, so that they can breathe the atmosphere when their terraforming device, before their terraforming device works. And it's almost like a close encounter the first time, where the main threat, the main alien race, only appears at the very end, and they have a very limited screen time, but you just remember it. It's just some reason a really memorable moment as Captain Brick tries to fire at it, tries to kill it, as it believes, you know, he's like, right, this is a weapon, you can use this to kill people. It's my weapon, I want it to destroy my enemies, so I can get revenge and stay and keep the Confederacy strong. However, the Doctor has manipulated it in a sense, so instead of it destroying Earth, he's actually changed it so a massive radius of the desert in their local area turns into a lovely grass-like environment, a great big patch of free land. And the Doctor basically explains to the CI, it's like, right, you can't survive here long, you'll have to leave now. And so the alien craft leaves. As the Doctor says, it's like, well, boys, here's your land, here's your free land, all for you. You don't have to pay any taxes or something, this is your land by right, as he gives them out. And then the story ends with Amy basically pointing out, hold on, does it just so happen that those 3 boys were the right people that we needed for the job? And the Doctor's like, yes, of course, right, we need to go back in time and make some recruitments. And that's how our story ends, with the Doctor basically promising that he's going to go back in time and hire these people to do their job in their future, in his past. Which is a very small detail. I don't know why they include it. I guess it makes the story a lot quicker. I mean, we start off the story with already 3 protagonists already basically volunteering to interact in the story, so the Doctor doesn't have to convince characters or try to explain to them everything. The characters are just along for the ride, just right off the bat. So I guess I can understand that from that point of view. So that's The Runaway Train. Overall, it is a really good story, highly recommended. The protagonists, or the original protagonists, aren't that interesting, but the story around them, and especially the Doctor and Amy, are very fun and interesting here. Matt Smith does a fantastic read. Simon Hunt's score is phenomenal, and Oil Smith's script is just just really engaging, a lot of fun, and it's a simple story. It's only an hour long. Highly recommended if you can get it. It's also incredibly cheap as I'm recording this, so this might be a really great little pick if you've got a little cash to spare and you want to spend it on some 11th Doctor goodness. So there you go, that's The Runaway Bride. So join me next time as we go back to K9 and his future company with, I can't remember the story, The Jaws of Gareth, I believe that's pronounced. Gareth. The Jaws of Gareth, I believe. So join me next time for The Jaws of Gareth. And I'll see you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-da!